I want you to know something that's really serious that I think that I needed to do a video diary for. When this first began, it was really traumatizing because these people would block my path, a lot of them. And then when it first started, I said, "Sir," I just asked him, "Why are you doing this?" Because a lot of people do it. He said, "That police just told me to do it." I said, "Well, their police is gonna get your behind sent to jail." Police was right there. And I was trying, in front of the police, trying to get down to the bottom of why he was terrorizing me doing this. And he stated that police just told me to do this. So I find it peculiar that all these police are guarding the West End where I got those two numbers. So what I think is happening, these police department is essentially telling the leaders of these environments to terrorize me. And they don't see anything wrong with it. They don't think it's wrong for someone getting in the bed with someone strangling them. At the sober living environment I was forced to live in with no drug addiction, they didn't think it was wrong for someone assaulting me and them putting me out for putting on makeup in the snow. They didn't see anything wrong with that. They didn't see anything wrong with withholding mail, even though the law says it's a felony. The bridge didn't see anything wrong with putting me out for reporting harassment or pushing and shoving me security for trying to get case management. They saw nothing wrong with it. The Salvation Army, they saw nothing wrong with someone, police coming on their own. There was mental health providers trying to set me up for trying to do stalking reports. They saw nothing wrong with it. They saw nothing wrong for people terrorizing me, stealing my property and wearing it. They didn't see anything wrong with that. They saw nothing wrong with not giving me the clothing closet, as what multiple different other locations did. City Square saw nothing wrong with security coming removing me for trying to get case management there. It was my fault. The stew pot saw nothing wrong with police pushing and shoving me for getting services. I still don't know what they do. The police are immediately interrupted. I have no. At one point, I saw housing. I'm pushed and shoved, and they won't tell me. Law enforcement is immediately called at the stew pot, and the police are always guarding it. And whatever it is must be still serious. What if they offer? They saw nothing wrong with I couldn't speak with Housing Solutions. They some kind of way they had a lock in Dallas. I found it highly peculiar that they've added a lock and why Housing Solutions door had to be protected with a lock where you just couldn't easily walk in people off the street. You had to have a code to get in Housing Solutions. It was bizarre. I said, "Why is Housing Solutions being guarded?" The last time I came here, they wouldn't give me entry. And then that party shut down a domestic violence rally. The same party. I also realized that Frank Crowley, I went in there freely, and where they child abuse division, and to get a follow up and did a report that was uninvestigated. Now it's locked up, and you have to have a password to get in it. So I never can get the follow up. I'm ignored. I just find it highly peculiar that Housing Solutions had a padlock to get into their office, and then the Frank Crowley had a padlock to enter the office, preventing me from entrance. And like I said prior to that, that same party denied me an entry to Housing Solution and then shut down a domestic violence rally. I don't understand why the FBI would not investigate this obvious housing discrimination. If this location, for whatever reason, thought it was a threat for someone to get housed, and then had to add a padlock to the office so people couldn't easily enter, and someone had to get approval to enter, and I never got that approval. Marshals came, that same man, another time uploaded. I'm not quite certain why he was at Housing, so denied me entry to the Housing Solutions. Was there another time I was at the Housing Solutions and then shut down a domestic violence rally? I couldn't understand how you could get to Housing Solution if it was a padlock on it. How is that where they're denying services? It was impossible. So the police officer came and said, no, we had to sit in the hall. They said they weren't denying me of services that I never got. I was still homeless, but I didn't understand how you perceive you weren't denying me services, but I was still homeless after speaking to you. Nonetheless, that's what's happened, and that's uploaded. So whatever is happening, so we'll see if they come or whatever. And as you can see, if law enforcement, the major keys of a woman being in domestic violence is that she does denied a support system and she's denied housing. And as you can see, that is what's happening. And I could not have a support system because the sheriff's office came on their own, were illegally monitoring me. We called Victoria PD, not the sheriff's office. And their scam for their criminal activity was that we felt that she was in danger because you're trying to flee abuse. That was their scam. You trying to flee abuse everywhere you're at, it makes you, it's criminal and you're mentally ill for trying to do so. Evidence of that is this very same location when I reported my abuse, demanded that I get mental health treatment instead of the case management I tried to get. I still haven't got it. So they have to get their story straight before the call on how, I watch videos and, how they're going to facilitate whatever that need is for that day for him to get off on a psychological abuse and torment. Low key, so you won't suspect that it's deliberate. I'll go ahead and upload this because I don't know if they'll show up. That's what they've been doing. They just come on their own when he's upset and try to set me up like they did the other day with Gulfman.